Scream tore through mansion like knife. Wasn't common scream, but roar filled with contempt. "Shut up, Lucas. Get back to your room right now." That voice resonated through marble hallway, dry, ruthless, breaking dawn's silence. Anna stopped in middle of living room, still wet rag in hands. Sound of muffled crying came immediately, small, desperate crying, as if child's fragile body couldn't bear pain felt. Didn't have to think. Dropped bucket, ran upstairs, each step vibrating like war drum inside chest. At hallway's end, seen paralyzed stomach. Carla, stepmother, gripped Lucas's arm hard, pushing against bedroom door. Child hunched, hands covering face, trembling completely. "Look at mess you made. If your father saw this, would die of shame." Anna stepped between them, heart racing. "Please, Mrs. Carla, just wanted his toy." Stepmother's gaze landed on her like cold knife. Mocking laugh drew on red-painted lips. "Since when does cleaning lady give orders here? Get out of way, or you'll hit street along with this useless brat." Behind door, other twin Davy watched silently, tearful eyes, hands twisting shirt hem. Murmured in low voice, almost voiceless, "Don't fight with Lucas, just wanted to see son." Anna felt chest burning. 2 children hidden on upper floor of Millionaire mansion, treated like weight, like burden. House gleamed outside, polished marble, lit chandeliers, impeccable gardens. But inside, childhood suffocated. Carla walked away with disdain, heels hitting floor like sentence hammers. "Both to room, and you, Anna, don't interfere anymore or tomorrow you'll be on street." What city are you watching this video from and what time is it? By the way, if you're enjoying my videos, I'd be so happy if you could subscribe to my channel and like this video. If this story has hooked you so far, subscribe to channel. What comes after this moment is even more intense, and you won't want to miss it. When door closed, heavy silence fell. Anna knelt before children, hugged carefully, as if were glass about to break. "Calm down, I'm here. She can't hurt you, okay?" Lucas sniffled, still hiding face. "Stepmother doesn't like us." Anna swallowed tears. "But I do, and God does too." Words came out simple but loaded with forced luxury of that house could never buy. Remained there few seconds, body serving as shield for both. But then heard sound stopping heart, car engine approaching main door. Wasn't just any car, was black armored vehicle already seen in newspaper photos. Anna ran to window. Outside, vehicle stopped slowly and from back door descended figure seeming to belong to another world. Dark suit, rigid posture, icy gaze. Eduardo Rocha, multimillionaire, had returned without warning, without even own wife knowing. Carla, still in living room, paled seeing him. "What's he doing here?" Muttered, hastily fixing hair. Anna didn't move. Deep down knew that instant could change everything. Weight of kept secrets. Screams hidden behind closed doors. Tears muffled in pillow was about to meet eyes of someone who'd never truly seen own house. And in that suspended second, Mansion's breathing seemed to stop along with hers. Engine sound still resonated at doors when children curled in Anna's arms. Body was rigid, as if wanting to prevent World from entering that room. But World was already there, arriving with firm steps of Eduardo Rocha, Mansion's owner, man everyone called untouchable. Multi-millionaire crossed garden without exchanging words with driver. Dark suit was wrinkled from travel, but posture remained impeccable. Silence around him was so dense even security guards avoided looking in eyes. Eduardo entered through main door, and for first time in months, house pretending not to sleep truly awakened. Carla hurriedly descended last steps, forced smile on lips. Heels hit marble trying to impose normalcy. "Darling, what surprise," began, but phrase faded when he raised hand asking for silence. Voice sounded firm, low but loaded with cutting. Hardness. "Where are my children?" Carla's blood froze in veins. Stammered. "They're sleeping, of course. Children always go to bed early." But Eduardo's gaze had already caught detail on floor. Broken blue toy car abandoned near stairs. Small but undeniable. Crouched, picked up toy with fingertips and turned loose wheel. fragile sound resonated in foyer like accusation. Without responding, began climbing steps. Each step was slow, calculated, but had weight of verdict. Carla tried to grab arm. Eduardo, not the moment. They're tired. He pulled away with contained. I asked you, where are my children? Mansion silence was suffocating. Living room clock seemed to mark seconds louder, as if counting sentence. Anna heard sound of approaching footsteps. Heart pounded so hard feared waking children. Looked at Davy gripping arm tightly, and Lucas still wrapped in blanket, trembling. Door creaked slowly, and Eduardo's figure filled frame. For instant, air stopped. Man newspapers described as cold and unflappable remained motionless before scene. Children sleeping on hard floor, hugging piece of fabric while cleaning lady, woman invisible to world's eyes, covered them carefully. Anna tried to stand, but legs didn't obey. Voice came out trembling, almost whisper. Sir, didn't know you were arriving today. Eduardo didn't respond. Walked slowly toward children. Knelt, stroking Davi's thin hair with fingers. Child opened eyes, frightened. Seeing father, recoiled like someone fearing punishment. Child's gaze was like broken mirror. Eduardo felt knot in stomach. It's me, son, your dad. But Lucas didn't move, only curled more, as if blanket were only defense. Anna lowered gaze, feeling weight of guilt. They've been long time without you, murmured. Think you've forgotten them? Eduardo breathed deeply, jaw clenched. For first time in years, most powerful man in room had no answer. Only guilt. Turned toward Anna, voice low but firm. What happened here? Why are my children like this? She hesitated. Could lie, could stay silent, but that silence had already killed too many. Try to care for them, but Mrs. Carla doesn't like children. Says they bother, that you only keep them out of pity. Words fell like stones. Eduardo closed eyes, clenched fists, muscle pulsed in jaw. Each syllable from Anna was crack in empire believed controlled. Sound of Carla's heels resonated in hallway. Appeared at door, tense face trying to smile. Eduardo, don't believe everything that woman says. These children need discipline. You're always absent. Someone has to put order. He slowly turned head, nailing gaze. Order, repeated with low but lethal voice. Order is letting my children sleep on floor? Is calling child defective? Is turning pain into punishment? Carla opened mouth but no sound came out. Silence that followed was prelude to something nobody there could control. In that instant, Anna realized. Veil hiding truth had fallen, and nothing would be same after that night. Silence after confrontation seemed more dangerous than screams. Eduardo descended stairs with heavy steps, each resonating like hammer on iron. Carla followed few meters behind, maintaining nervous smile like someone trying to save empire crumbling before own eyes. Anna remained upstairs with children, but body didn't stop trembling. Lucas slept gripping blanket, still sobbing in low voice, while Davi squeezed hand as if wanting to nail soul in that fragile security. Don't let go, Aunt Anna. Don't let go. Voice broke something inside her. Downstairs, Carla tried to recompose before husband. You're exhausted, Eduardo. Don't see things clearly. That employee manipulates situation. Children need discipline. He stopped before her, vein pulsing in jaw. Manipulation? Saw with own eyes, sleeping on floor, hungry, frightened by my presence. Voice failed for first time. My children fear me. Carla retreated, but coldness quickly returned. And whose fault is it, Eduardo? Always traveling. Abandoned this house, these children, and now want to blame me? Accusation hurt deeply. Eduardo swallowed because part was true. Years of absences, meetings in other countries, contracts signed thousands of miles away. Had built empire, but lost own children. Anna heard part of argument from upstairs. Words abandonment and guilt seemed to resonate in everyone, even her. Pressed children against chest, as if could filter venom filling that house. Suddenly, metallic noise broke atmosphere. Crystal vase fell to living room floor and shattered. Carla had pushed tray unintentionally, gripped by rage. Fragments reflected mansion's lights like 1,000 accusing eyes. Eduardo didn't move, only looked at her. "It's over, Carla. Pack your things." She smiled slightly, smile having nothing of surrender. "Think you can get rid of me like that? Know your secrets, Eduardo, and know very well how to destroy you." Threat floated in air like toxic smoke. That night, mansion seemed to breathe differently. Hallways were impregnated with tension, as if each wall had heard too much. Anna couldn't sleep. Sat on floor between two children, watching their sleep, heart racing each time heard wood creak, each time wind drew shadow on window. At dawn, heard firm footsteps approaching. Was Eduardo. Stopped at door without entering. Observed in silence, scene of domestic employee lying on carpet, surrounded by children who before didn't recognize own father as safe refuge. Eyes filled, with tears but said nothing. Only closed door slowly, as if had no right to break that moment. Next morning, world already began to react. 2 security guards whispered at door, mobiles in hand, showing messages arriving in real time. One said, "Get ready. Mrs. Carla won't stay quiet. Scandal's coming." Anna perceived strange atmosphere. Noticed looks, whispers in hallway, tension extending like invisible crack, and suddenly wondered how long until that silent war affected not just children, but her too. In kitchen appeared Eduardo. Wasn't wearing tie. Had unshaven beard but gaze remained hard. Sat at table and stared at coffee cup without touching. "Anna," finally said in lower voice, "tell me whole truth. What happened here while I wasn't?" She hesitated. Hands squeezed kitchen cloth until almost breaking. Speaking could mean losing job. Staying silent meant betraying children. Breathed deeply, eyes full of tears, and told each humiliation, each denied plate, each closed door. Eduardo clenched fists until knuckles turned white. Didn't shout, but in silence was more danger than any explosion. In that instant, Anna realized routine had broken forever. There was no turning back. Children would no longer be invisible, and she would no longer be just cleaning lady pretending not to see. But that also meant entering battlefield against someone knowing no limits. Outside, Carla already planned next move, and Anna felt for first time enemy wasn't just stepmother, but system itself preferring to ignore fragile children, invisible women, and absent fathers. Future arrived carrying weight of war, just beginning. What would you do in Anna's place? Would you tell truth even taking risks or stay silent? Right here in comments. Very eager to know your opinion. Courtroom was packed. Air seemed heavy, almost solid, impregnated with smell of old paper, strong perfume and nervousness. Journalists squeezed at sides, microphones in hand, while cameras flickered like lightning before storm. Anna, sitting in back, squeezed rosary between fingers. Heart pounded so hard seemed about to burst from chest. Davy and Lucas weren't present, were in temporary shelter, but absence was like open wound bleeding in silence. Carla entered first. Wore sunglasses, scarf around neck, and theatrical posture of well-rehearsed victim. Public whispered. Some believed mask. Eduardo entered shortly after. No tie, unshaven beard, tired gaze but firm. Was no longer man from business magazine photos. Seemed smaller, human, broken but willing to fight. Judge asked for silence. "Let's hear witnesses." Carla was first. With trembling voice, wiped invisible tears with handkerchief. "Always loved those children," began, pausing to breathe. But father's emotional instability, and that employee's influence made atmosphere unbearable. Just wanted to protect them. Murmurs spread. Anna felt knot in stomach. Protect them. Still resonated in her. Stepmother's screams, doors slamming, children begging to see son. Eduardo's lawyer stepped forward. Mrs. Carla, could you explain how obtained videos sent to press? She choked. I installed cameras for security. Judge raised eyebrows. Cameras in children's bedrooms without authorization? Room exploded in murmurs. Carla tried to laugh, but sound was like broken glass. Was to protect them. Lawyer attacked again. Protect them or control them. Facade began to crack. Next they called Anna. Walked to room's center like someone crossing minefield. Legs trembled but voice sounded firm. Saw every day. Screams, humiliations, punishments, denied plates, doors locked. Cried until fell asleep. Judge leaned forward. Why didn't report before? Tears ran down cheeks but didn't look away. Because was afraid, and because thought father's love worth more than report. Room fell silent. Eduardo lowered head, swallowing weight of guilt. For first time couldn't hide face. Carla stood furiously, pointing at Anna. Lies. That woman only wants your money. Always been opportunist. Judge struck gavel. Silence in court, lawyer asked Carla be recalled. She returned hesitantly, but no longer had same gleam. Judge looked directly. Understand that falsifying evidence and illegal surveillance are crimes? Face contracted. Cold sweat ran down jaw. Theater crumbled before everyone. And then came moment nobody expected. Eduardo stood, walked to center before Judge, but didn't speak immediately. Looked at public, then at Anna, still holding rosary. Voice when spoke wasn't multimillionaires, was desperate fathers. If my children still have bit of life, isn't because of me, isn't because of that woman calling herself mother, is because of her. Pointed at Anna. Room held breath. Carla's eyes widened, unable to contain hatred. Eduardo continued, voice breaking. That invisible woman cared for them when I was blind, gave bread secretly, gave hugs when I wasn't there. If there's love in that house, comes from her. And then, before everyone, did what nobody imagined, knelt on floor at cleaning lady's feet. Most powerful man in room bowed before simplest woman. Collective gasp ran through room. Journalists fired flashes. Anna covered face with hands, tears running without control. Eduardo raised eyes toward Judge. If must choose, give custody to me. But if don't believe in me, give to her. Just don't return my children to one who treated them like burden. Room exploded in voices, commotion, indignation, murmurs too loud to contain. Judge struck gavel repeatedly asking for order, but nobody there would be same after that scene. Untouchable man had stripped himself of power. Kneeling multimillionaire revealed truth everyone pretended not to see. Heroes don't always wear suits. If this moment moved you as much as me, leave your like now. This scene deserves to be felt together. Courtroom noise still resonated even after Judge left room. Cameras had silenced, journalists dispersed, but inside each who witnessed scene was heavy silence, impossible to translate. Anna remained sitting, motionless, rosary between fingers wet from tears. World seemed distant, as if sound had been absorbed by shell. Eduardo remained kneeling, no hurry to stand. Broad shoulders seemed smaller, defeated. When finally placed hands on bench to rise, didn't look at anyone, only breathed deeply, like someone learning again to fill lungs. Carla had been removed amid protests, but strident voice still resonated in everyone's memory. We'll destroy you all. Threat remained in air like invisible venom spreading slowly. Anna wiped eyes with back of hand and tried to leave discreetly. Didn't want to be seen, but crossing hallway heard Eduardo's footsteps behind. Anna. She stopped but didn't turn. His voice didn't have firmness from before, was broken voice, almost pleading. Thank you. She breathed deeply, and still with back turned responded, "Just did what anyone would have done." Turned slowly. Eyes were red but no shame in them. Was something deeper, late recognition. Walked together to exit. Parking lot was wet from drizzle fallen recently, and each step made water run through puddles. Smell of wet earth mixed with metallic smell of iron chains surrounding building. Eduardo stopped beside black car. Driver opened door, but he didn't enter. Turned toward Anna, gaze fixed on ground. Shouldn't have carried that alone. She sighed. Sometimes don't choose weight, just falls in hands. Silence that followed, only interrupted by distant sound of horns on street, was no answer erasing what already done. Suddenly, Eduardo took from pocket broken blue toy car, same toy found on stairs days before. Extended it. "We'll want you to keep this." Anna took object carefully, as if too fragile. Cold metal still had scratch on side, scar matching all others couldn't be seen. Stroked loose wheel, eyes full of tears again. This car has suffered more falls than can count, but remains intact. Eduardo raised eyes and looked at her. Said nothing, but comparison was obvious. Anna kept toy inside apron next to heart, and in that simple gesture was something bigger. Silent pact, promise of care not depending on papers or sentences. Both headed toward door. Cold wind whipped faces, but at same time provided certain relief, as if washing part of tension. Car approached. Eduardo entered, but before door closed let escape brief phrase, "Won't give up on them." Anna nodded silently, and for first time believed. Car started slowly. She remained standing under drizzle, rosary in one hand and toy car in other. Body tired but soul awake, knew fight still far from over, but also knew would never again be alone facing it. That night, in simple house, Anna placed toy car on table next to open Bible. Room smelled of coffee and medicines, same mix as always. Mother slept on mattress beside, breathing weak. Anna sat on floor and for first time since everything began, allowed herself simply to remain in silence. Was no victory or defeat, only weight of having crossed storm and strange peace of remaining standing. On other side of city, Eduardo remained alone in office until late. Wide room full of glass and steel seemed too large for man seeing himself reflected in window's mirror. Removed watch from wrist, opened drawer, and took out old photo. Children, still small, truly smiling. Passed finger over image and closed eyes. World had changed, and so had he. If this part has truly moved you, you can support our channel with super thanks or subscribe now if haven't yet. That gives us strength to keep bringing stories as intense as this. Rain ceased 2 days after trial, but city still seemed covered by gray veil. Press, as always, already sought another scandal to chew. But inside Rocha Mansion, something different was happening. No longer heard sound of closing doors or screams cutting air. Now were timid footsteps of 2 children exploring hallways before forbidden to them. Lucas discovered garden little by little, touched grass with fingertips, like someone not believing was allowed. Davy laughed clumsily when brother ran with blue toy car Anna had fixed with tape and patience. Eduardo watched from balcony in silence. Man who before seemed of iron now had hands in pockets, hunched posture, like someone finally understanding wealth isn't protection against emptiness. Anna remained there but was no longer invisible. Still wore apron, still cared for house, but way everyone looked at her had changed. Wasn't just employee, was presence keeping children whole, was link between father and sons. Eduardo knew it and carried that awareness like scar. Were nights when walked alone through mansion looking at portraits on wall. Carla's frozen face still smiled in golden frames. Eduardo stopped before them, eyes hard, and understood not only ex-wife had failed, himself had abandoned children in silence. Now, weight of guilt was no longer hidden burden but motor forcing him to change. One morning, Anna found him in kitchen, was leaning over table, untouched cup before him. Sun entered through windows revealing different man, tired but willing. "Mrs. Anna," he began, but she interrupted with gentle gesture. "Don't call me Mrs. anymore." She frowned, confused. "How should I call you then?" Took time to respond. "Just Eduardo, man still trying to learn to be father." Anna smiled slightly without irony. Wasn't smile of victory but of recognition. He was no longer unreachable. And in that instant, Both knew, although future still brought battles, nothing would be like before, because truth had come to light, because children had already felt embrace of someone truly seeing them. Weeks turned into months. House that once seemed fortress of isolation slowly transformed. Windows that before only let in cold light now opened to morning breeze. Rooms echoing with heavy silence began filling with small conversations, hesitant laughs, sounds of normalcy. Children continued therapy sessions. What before were obligation became space of genuine progress. Child psychologist visited house twice a week, brought exercises, patience, and warm smile, reminding twins not all adults were threats. Together worked through recovery. Nothing rushed, nothing forced. Just healing for sake of healing. Eduardo changed too. Man who before hid behind contracts and business trips now organized schedule around children. Learned to prepare pancakes way Lucas and Davy liked, with honey and berries. Learned to listen to silences, understand gestures, read emotions in son's eyes. Learned being father meant being present in small moments, tying shoelaces, playing in garden, sitting on floor to build with blocks. One afternoon, several months after that terrible night, they had visitor. Daniel, Eduardo's old college friend, came for coffee. Had become trusted friend, someone children felt safe around. They shared meal, stories, gentle laughter. House that once knew only tension now hosted warmth. After coffee, Daniel asked twins to show drawings. Lucas and Davy looked at father, seeking permission, reassurance. He nodded encouragingly. They ran to room and returned with stack of papers, colorful drawings of flowers, sunshine, and always, 3 figures holding hands. Daniel had tears in eyes. "They're healing," whispered to Eduardo. "Can see it in art. Fear is fading. Hope is growing." Eduardo's chest swelled with emotion. And twins, for first time in so long, felt something they'd almost forgotten. Felt worthy. Felt loved. Felt whole. As guests left and evening settled, Eduardo helped children prepare for bed. Routine they'd developed over months. Comfortable. Filled with small moments of connection. "Dad?" Lucas said as he tucked blanket around him. "Yes, son. Thank you for coming back." Eduardo felt throat tighten. Knelt beside bed, took his hand. "We'll never leave again, my boy. You're everything to me. You're everything to us too, Dad." He kissed foreheads of both. "Love you so much. We'll spend rest of life making up for time wasn't there." "You're here now. That's enough," Davy whispered. Anna watched from doorway, silent smile on face. "Had been right to speak truth. Had been right to stay. And here is where I speak to you who stayed until end of this story. Do you realize? Sometimes transformation doesn't happen with great heroic gesture. Born in small details invisible to world. Bread hidden in bag, silent hug amid fear. Words spoken in moment when everyone stays silent. Sometimes all someone needs is place where can simply exist. Sometimes what saves isn't power or money, but courage to remain. This story isn't just about multi-millionaire, cruel stepmother, or invisible cleaning lady. It's about you. About how many times you've been set aside, silenced, discredited. Or perhaps about how many times you've been Anna in someone's life. Someone who bore weight not yours but couldn't let go. And I want you to hear this. You're not alone. If you've ever felt invisible, must know each of your gestures has value, even if nobody sees. If you've ever carried weight in silence, must know there are attentive eyes that someday will recognize what you've done. Stories like this remind us not all new beginnings have to be loud. Some just have to be honest. If you've reached here, it's because this story moved you somehow, and that means much. Very much. Thank you for watching until end. Stories like this aren't easy to tell, but are important because speak of what makes us human. And I want to invite you. If this story reached your soul, watch next channel video too. Perhaps it will also find you where you are now. Because deep down we all seek same thing. Place where can be seen, loved and recognized just as we are.